All right, good afternoon, traders. Today it's December 8th, 2025. My name is John Carignan. I'm the lead instructor here at the BYOB Trading Room. Thank you for being here. All right, let's go over the markets today, see what happened, how I made 1,400 utilizing 4,400 with a 44K account. Let's take a peek at everything today. Let's take a look at the game plan. On the game plan, we had a green erases red entry up over 688.40. That never triggered. Price, above it I'm a bull, below it I'm a bear. Never got above it. Okay, so there was no bullish. I was buying calls for price to probably rebound back up there, but there was no bullish 10-minute uptrend. There was a bearish 10-minute downtrend all day. Had a little bounce here around 2 o'clock, actually 1 o'clock, and then resumed after that. Didn't really get too much further. We have a red erases green entry underneath 682.70. You can see price action never really broke free. Had a few candles close down here, but it never went anywhere. So there's 10-minute downtrend today was tradable to the downside all the way down to the red erases green entry down here. So that's what we got. Coming into the close, looking like a 10-minute uptrend. All right, a weak one candle 10-minute uptrend coming into the close. On the 2-hour chart, and we'll pick up a clean one here. 2-hour chart, we have a 2-hour downtrend coming into the close. On the daily chart, we have for today's candle is a lower high and a lower low, and we closed inside of a bullish trap over the rising 17 EMA. If we put this on the quad lines, you can see price action is the top of quadrant 4. It's still bullish and still in an uptrend up there. Okay, still bullish, still in an uptrend. Here's our April low, top of the quad lines up there. You can see we're still up at the top of quadrant 4. We're still bullish, still in an uptrend. Kind of disturbing that we didn't go up and tackle the all-time highs again today. I don't know what the news was, but you know, just kind of strange. Moving over to the right, I'll take it as long as they move over to the right. Other than that, you know, I hope this isn't the beginning of a breakdown, but I did make a note. I was saying earlier this morning that be careful. We have a triple top situation, and price could roll over. So I'm pretty sure I mentioned that this morning, and we can see price engulfing yesterday's candle on the daily chart. Weekly chart still in an uptrend. Okay, top of quadrant 4 still in an uptrend, so that's bullish, still in an uptrend. Monthly chart, top of quadrant 4 still bullish, still in an uptrend on the monthly chart. Let's take a look at QQQ. Okay, QQQ still bullish, still in an uptrend up there on the monthly chart. You can see at the top of quadrant 4, still bullish, still in an uptrend. Weekly chart, still bullish. Here's the April low. Bullish, still in an uptrend. Okay, on the weekly chart. Daily chart, similar candle to SPY. The high for Friday was 628.92. The high for today was 628.84. Lower high, lower low. Closing, I'm going to say it's inside the bullish trap, over the rising 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, so there's QQQ on the daily chart. Here's the April low. We're still bullish up there, top of quadrant 4, and in an uptrend. There's a high. We made a higher high. Let's take a look at the 10-minute chart. 10-minute chart coming into the close. We got a weak one candle, two candle uptrend, pulling back to VWAP up there. Okay, that's QQQ. And on the 2-hour time frame, we have the 3 EMA and the candlesticks underneath the 8, so we have a 2-hour downtrend. More like bullish consolidation, but it is a 2-hour downtrend. We got the candles underneath the 8 EMA, along with the 3 EMA underneath there. So 10-minute is a weak 2-candle uptrend on the 10-minute chart, and on the 2-hour is a downtrend right there. On the daily chart, we're still in an uptrend. Nothing's broken yet on the daily time frame. So the daily time frame's bullish, weekly, monthly, all still bullish there. Let's take a look at Diamond Dow. Diamond Dow, lower high, lower low, closing in a bullish trap over the 17, over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Top of quadrant 4, still in a downtrend, but not moving down. Okay, it's in a downtrend because they took out this low. So now they got to take out a high. So they're still in a downtrend, but they're not moving down. They're moving up or over to the right. So there's Diamond Dow, top of quadrant 4. That's bullish. Here's the April low. That's bullish and in a downtrend that's dysfunctional or not working right there on Diamond Dow. IWM. Let's see if IWM got a new all-time high today. Okay, this is 252.77, 252.92. Okay, so IWM inks out a new all-time high today for IWM. Drop the mic. It doesn't get any better than that. All right, so there's IWM on the daily chart. New all-time high, top of quadrant 4. There's the April low. This is bullish, still in an uptrend for IWM. Let's take a look at FNGU. FNGU, today's candle look like an inside day, really. Let me blow this up just a little bit. Okay, so we got a lower high, and looks like a lower low. So lower high, lower low, closing over, I see a little daylight there, over a bullish trap, over the 17, and over the all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, not my favorite candle, but hey, moving up and over to the right, that's good. So there's FNGU on the daily chart. They're in an uptrend. There's a high. They took out that high. So they're in an uptrend, and they're in the quadrant 4, so they're bullish and still in an uptrend. Here's the April low. There's quadrant 4, that's bullish, still in an uptrend for FNGU. Let's take a look at T2101. Okay, so the market dipped and participation dipped. Okay, so that's welcoming news for me. All right, I'd rather see it participation dip when the market dips, and I'd like to see participation increase when the market increases or price action increases to make new all-time highs or higher highs. Okay, so there's T2101. So T2122. Probably going to be somewhere in the seller's chop zone or in the midpoint. All right, so here is T2122. We find ourselves chopping back and forth between the buyer's chop zone and the seller's chop zone, ending up the day in the seller's chop zone. Again, there's a low. We made a lower low, so that's kind of a downtrend there. We didn't want to see that on T2122. Price action still hanging out here at the midpoint. Still a little bit of strength in the market. I'll take a little bit of a break, all right, if they're willing to take a little bit of a break. As long as they're going to load up on spinach and red meat and take a stab at those all-time highs, I'm game for that, all right? But right now, winding up the day in the seller's chop zone. It could have been worse, could have been the sell zone or the oversold zone. So I'll take it right there on the seller's chop zone. T2123. Okay, so you can see there's a low. There's a low right here. And we made a lower low at the end of the day here. So we got a lower low. So we're in a downtrend. Let me make sure I got that right. Yeah. So we're in a downtrend. because we got a low here, then we made a high up there over the 17, made a lower low. So we're in a downtrend on T2123. You can see all the red that showed up today, all right, on that 17 EMA. Price action still up over this hooking 200 SMA. Okay, I like that because I'm a bull. I like the idea that price is moving up and over to the right. I'll take that. So if they need a couple more days, that's fine with me, as long as they're filling up on spinach and red meat to go higher. So there's T2123 on the 15-minute chart. It's in a downtrend. Okay, now here's the all-time high. I'm going to put the quad lines on there. Okay, so you can see we're not in the lower third. So we're just hanging out just barely over the lower third inside the neutral zone, and we're in a downtrend. Okay, but we're not moving down, we're just moving over to the right. So that's good news right there. So hopefully they can turn things around sometime tomorrow or maybe even Wednesday. Got some headlines coming out. We got a FOMC announcement on Wednesday, I think at 2 p.m. That should be interesting. Hey, if they do a rate cut, that would be nice. We'll see what happens. There's T2123 15-minute chart. Let's look at the 3-bar chart. You can see price action bouncing off this head and shoulders neckline from back in June, July. And you can see price action up here is in the upper third, so that's bullish up there. All right, but we are under the hooking or the fading 200 SMA. Not my favorite place to be unless I'm a bear, but we're underneath the flat 200 up there. But we are in the upper third, so we're still bullish. We are moving up, all right? We just haven't made any higher highs yet. Okay, got to make a higher high in order to negate the downtrend. So currently, the 15-minute is in a downtrend, and the 3-bar chart is in a downtrend. You can see price bouncing off of this head and shoulders neckline right there. Okay, here's the April low. All right, and there's the all-time high for T2123 3-bar chart. Okay, so let's take a look at FNGU. And you can see price action today was the 8th. Gap up, bears filled the gap. Price action kind of melted through this rising 200 SMA, only to end up at the end of the day closing over it, but underneath VWAP. Okay, so over it, but underneath VWAP. So that was good news over the 200 SMA, over the all-time high pink line anchored VWAP. That's wonderful news. Up over the neckline here, or major support. Okay, see how the price action comes down here and bounces off of this area, so off of major support. So this is bullish right now on FNGU. Okay, on the 15 minute. Okay, they're in an uptrend, and they haven't made a lower low yet. So let me see. Yeah, they made a lower low. Yeah. Okay, so they're in a downtrend. So they got a low here. They made a high. They came back. They made a lower low. So they're in a downtrend. But look at the relationship of this low and this low. Okay, they're really not that far apart. It's not like it's this low and this low up here. Okay, look at the relationship. We're still seeing consolidation over prior consolidation. That's a bullish environment. Okay, you just need the bulls to show up. All right, and perform. That's it. It's FNGU. Remember where I said we're going to watch this one today, because this is the one that tends to lead the market. We need this one to hang tough up there and fight off the bears and hold up over that all-time high anchored VWAP. So not the best, but let me just say it's not falling apart. So that's bullish. But in a downtrend on the 15-minute. Let's take a look at silver and gold. First one we'll start out with is, let's see, silver recently put in a new all-time high. Silver put in a new all-time high on Friday. Today's candle, lower high, lower low, closing over a bullish trap. A lot of that lower high, lower low, still closing over the bullish trap. over the rising 17, over the prior all-time high anchored VWAP. Okay, so there's silver on the daily chart. Top of quadrant 4, that's bullish, still in an uptrend on silver. Let's take a look at GLD. Lower high, lower low, closing inside bullish trap over the 17 EMA, over the all-time high anchored VWAP in the top side of quadrant 4. So that's bullish and in an uptrend for GLD. Take it back over here. This is the 2023 low right here. Little double bottom. Months and months apart. Price action coming all the way back up there. So that's gold. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG had a pullback today. That was expected, okay? Because they gave us the sword candle on Friday. See the business end of the sword is pointed up, so price usually goes up to the point and then back. Today's price candle, it's a lower high and a lower low, closing under a bearish trap, but over the 17 EMA on the daily chart and over the 2025 high anchored VWAP. They're back in the lower third, so they're bearish, but still in an uptrend. They're still in that uptrend, making higher, here's a low, making higher lows. There's a high, there's a high, higher highs and higher lows. So they're still in an uptrend on the 17-minute time frame, on the daily 17-minute time frame right there. Okay, so on the daily chart, you can see price action still bullish, still in an uptrend, just acting bullish, but still bearish down here in the lower third. All right, that's it for me for today. How I made 1,400. It was not easy. It was not easy at all. See what we got here. I'm going to turn on the trading. Show trading is on. Okay, so the 692 calls. Let's try it on a 3-minute, 5-minute. Let's try that. Okay, you can see a bottom and sold them into strength as price popped right there. All right. 693 calls. I bought them down here for a penny and sold them up here. Okay, so again, not a lot of price movement there, only 1 or 2 pennies. $50 on the 700 calls, 1 DTE. Looks like I was holding those and I wound up just selling them off before they before they expire. They actually have till tomorrow. But right here, I sold them off for I don't know, 2 cents right there. I think my cost was 1 cent. 691 calls minus 564. Take a look at that one. And looks like I was holding some of those at the beginning. Nope, this one right here. Bought some, sold off into the rally, reloaded, sold off into the rally right there. A lot of this stuff really didn't get the good bounce that we're looking for, especially a bullish bounce, because the bears were in charge almost all day. Just non-stop selling all day. That was kind of weird. Haven't seen that in a while. All right, here's the 679 puts. Made 1,018 with those. Again, I bought the puts to go lower, and to go lower. All right, so there's the puts that I purchased. See, I bought them right here, sold them for not much more, sold them for not much more, and sold them for not much more. All right, and then we got these $16 on the 680 puts. Tried to make some profit on those. They expired in a day, actually tomorrow. So you can see price action reversed on me. I bought them, and you can see price action reversed, so I had to dump them for a small gain or get a big loss. So I didn't want the big loss, so I took profit on those right there. All right, that's it for me for today. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Just want to let you know, you guys trading overnight in the futures market, you do have bullish divergence right here. Okay, because you got price made a lower low, but PPO made a higher low. So you see that pull back up to VWAP. I still think that could be it. All right, that could be all that they have. But I really think that there's a little bit more, and I think you could probably ink out 684.41 or 684.30 up around that area. Should I think we can still get there before 8 o'clock rolls around. We'll see what happens. All right, that's the SPY right there. So thanks, Brad. Thanks, CP. Thanks, Tex. Thank you for all the sharing. Appreciate that. Thank you for the Woody's pivots too. Tex supplied us with the Woody's pivots numbers. That was nice, so we could find support. This is it for me for today. I'll see you guys all tomorrow at 8 o'clock in the morning. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.